You are live. G'day, everybody.
Good evening. Welcome to Paranormal Talks. We have lovely Miha from Queensland Most Haunted on tonight.
Hello.
Just want to say big hello and thank you, Miha, for being on tonight with us. It's an honour to
No
have you.
worries. No, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I don't normally do this type of thing, so it's nice to step outside the comfort zone and jump on and have a chat.
Oh, it's great to have you. Miha, I was just going to start asking so everybody can know what is your team? It's Queensland's Most Haunted, yes? Or am I
It
saying
is.
it
It's
wrong?
Queen. No, you're saying it right. Queensland's Most Haunted. We only
So
work
how did
in
it all
Queen.
start?
Okay, so how Queensland's Most Haunted started was we were Queensland Paranormal before we changed our name to Queensland's Most Haunted, and that all started when we were down in the down at the expo. The expo when we guys were down there. Yeah, so we're sitting around the table at Sula's house. Sula from Paranormal Adventures Australia. And we're all sitting around the table, and I had a couple of friends with us there, and we're like, well, we should do something for Queensland. Because I originally did have my own page, which was Paranormal Adventures from Miha. But I was evolving past that. So we made QLD Paranormal, and then after about a year or so, we changed the name to Queensland's Most Haunted, because I feel with Queensland's Most Haunted, there's so much that can fall under that sort of umbrella, because we do like to branch off and do different things and not just paranormal investigating. So, yeah, me and Nikki founded Queensland's Most Haunted, and here we are. Probably about a couple of years ago we done that. I think it was a couple of years ago since the tour expo, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah,
Yep,
about
yep,
that.
yeah.
Mm.
It
Mm.
was
So that's
to
that's
Melbourne.
where it all started.
Oh, that's awesome. Um,
Yeah.
for people that don't know much about Queensland and haunted places, do you want to maybe tell them how, like, what kind of places there are in Queensland and
Sure.
um,
Sure. So we do run events. We run different kind of events. We run haunted sleepovers. We also do ghost tours and ghostly tales tours. So our ghostly tales tour is more of your haunted history, and we sort of focus a little bit more on your sort of intuitive stuff, more so than the full hardcore paranormal investigation as seen on TV. So, and then we do the haunted sleepover as well at an amazing location called the Criterion Hotel up in Maryborough.
mm,
Um, yeah, it's a cracker, this place. And the first time I walked in there, everyone that's walked in there has felt the same thing. There's nothing bad about the location. It's just a lot. And yeah, just walking in there, it's just, I don't think I've been to a place that's quite as active as that one. And yeah, so we run our haunted sleepovers there, and we do our ghost tours there as well. Really, really awesome place. It's actually known as one of Queensland's most haunted hotels, and it is also on Wharf Street, notoriously known as Queensland's most haunted street.
wow.
So, yeah, this place is off the Richter scale, guys. It's not often that you get a street where every single building is haunted.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's up in Maryborough in Queensland. We do a bit of a ghost tour walk and talk about the history of the street and the town. And I get asked the question a lot about, why is this place so haunted? Why is there so much that goes on in this place? And back in your early European settlement, there was only two ports to come and settle when you were coming into Australia from wherever you were coming in from, and that was in New South Wales, and the other one was in Maryborough. So imagine that.
Wow, look, that's just amazing. I'm really bummed I couldn't get there this month. We were hoping to catch up and go on some of your tours, so yeah, maybe next time.
It will definitely happen next time.
It'd be so exciting. There's a few people that have jumped on, so I'm just going to give them a quick shout out and say hello.
Yeah.
So we've got Balana, my sister. We've got Stephen. We've got Jody.
Nikki.
Alexandra, hello. And Jeff, hello, Jeff. We've got Josh. Welcome, everybody.
And Sam, yeah.
Yep. And would any of the people that are on board would like to ask myself, Jason or Miha, any questions?
And as you do, we'll ask questions too. Like for Miha, like what made you get in to the ghost hunting world?
Okay, what made me get into the ghost hunting world? I had an experience when I was 14 years old in the family home. We didn't speak about this often, and yeah, it was something that was quite significant. It was really, really scary, and I've never seen anything like it since. It was that bad. And me being young, I'm only 14 years old. I've had no other experiences with any type of anything spiritual or paranormal before. So I was so scared. I was so scared, and then I ended up leaving home at that age. So I had a fear sitting on my shoulder probably for about 8 years until I got sick of being scared. I started getting older and started turning into an adult, and I just got sick of being scared. And then I started looking into, hey, what happened that night? Like, what happened? And as I started to get a bit more knowledge and research up on what happened, I just started getting more and more intrigued. So I went from one extreme to the other. I went from being absolutely shit scared. Oh, excuse my language. I went from
That's
being
right.
sorry guys. I went from being so scared to forging my passion in the field. And I always had an interest in it. And I think about, what year was it? 2007 is when I created a team, and I've got to bring this up because this is really funny. I was talking to you guys about it earlier. So this is before I evolved and got my experience up and got to where I am today. So me and lifelong friends, we thought, you know what, we're going to create a paranormal team. So I went on, bought these full spectrum cameras, still had no real clue what I was doing, but I was, as you do when you first start out. And we created a group called Paranormal Paparazzi, and I just want to show you guys because I love this so much. We've still got the shirts from that.
They're really cool.
I know, it's like what do you call it when you have things from when you first started doing something? It's like goes into the little box of memories type thing. So I've still got the shirt from there. So that's really what happened. And then as the years went on, I created my own group. I joined a team for a very, very short period of time, and then just evolved through just evolving. And then here I am today.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I want to say, like, you've done so well. Like, you're just amazing because I've seen you grow over the years. I've only known you not too long, but in the time I've seen it expand and just seen so many things that you've achieved, and just can't wait to see more. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
I do. That's one thing that I do is I believe if you've really got a passion for something, that I just put 110% into everything I do, and it is my life. It is there has to be a really good balance between the normal and paranormal. But I do put 110% into what I do because of the passion for what we do.
For sure. Now, would any of the
One
people
person did
watching?
say, I'll just bring this up, this comment.
Yep.
Up-
The Criterion Hotel in Rockhampton is haunted, apparently.
Yeah, I have
It is,
investigated
actually.
that. I investigated that years ago. That's where I got that man in the door.
Oh, yep.
That's from that hotel.
Okay.
When my stepbrother lives in Rockhampton, and we went there, and I talked to the manager of that place, and he said, "Okay, go for it. I don't mind." So he gave me permission to walk around. What I did up there, I went back down and I got the manager to come and sit with me. I just put that first photo on. You got to picture this. The crowd, it was crowded, full of people. And I don't know how the manager heard it, but he heard that phone ring. He goes, "Oh," he looked at one photo. He goes, "Oh, the phone's ringing," and took off. And left me standing there and one photo open. And I'm thinking, I didn't hear the phone. And then he come back and he goes, "That photo scared the life out of me." And then we went through all the others. And then he goes,
"Oh, wow."
Will. And then after we left, the medium thing, whatever it was, years ago, went up there. One of the mediums who went up there. He went around the whole entire place, and when they had to leave, he walked up with my photos. He goes, "You got everybody else, but who's this person in front of the door?" And then the medium at the time said, "Oh, I have to come back," and took off. And I was like, "Okay."
Isn't that incredible, though? Hey.
Yeah.
It's experiences like that just because we know that this exists. We know that their spirit are there, and for whatever reason, there's a multitude of reasons why, but we know that they're there.
Yeah. I just want to quickly acknowledge Fairy. Hi, Fairy. Thank you for coming on. And Gypsy said, sorry, I just wanted to quickly say hello to everyone. There's like a delay that happens when we do the paranormal talk, so I don't want to be rude and butt in when you're talking and say hello, which has happened in the past. So we're being aware of it now, but just wanted to say hello to everyone that's come on, and thank you for joining us tonight. And if you have any questions for any of us, feel free to post them.
Yeah.
Fire away. So I'll go back to or some of the other events that we do, because the one thing I hope, if that's all right, the one thing that I love about what we do is we don't just run ghost tours. We run a whole heap of different events that from your spiritual events, like we run seance experiences. They're really, really beautiful. What that is, for people that don't know, is that's when our medium channels spirit, and they can be really beautiful experiences. And we've had some just mind-blowing nights where we do our seance experiences for people. We've had a lot of laughter, we have a lot of healing, and just all sorts of stuff. So pretty much what that is a medium will channel spirit, and we can't guarantee what message will come through and from whom, but they really are a beautiful, beautiful experience. So yeah, they really are a beautiful experience, and we only have 6 people that sit at that event, just so we can make sure that it's intimate and that the person sitting can get the most out of the experience. It's an amazing way for people to feel spirit. And yeah, so that's a really good one that we sell out of that quickly. I think we've sold out of nearly everything for the rest of the year.
Wow.
But we also, so we've only just launched our Old World Magic events. So they're a bit controversial maybe for some people. But I just got to point out that all our events are done by an experienced team in a controlled environment. And when you have that, like, pure magic just happens. That's how, I can't explain it any other way. So our old world magic that we've just put out, that's all your seance type activities. So we'll have the seance experience where Nick will channel spirit, and we also have spirit board, table tipping, and all that sort of stuff.
Cool. I think I've got a question.
I do believe it's safe if it's done by people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
So, we have been invited to do something similar in the future, but they've done it a million times. They know what they're doing. So it'll be something new to experience. But I trust them, and I trust you guys because you know. But something I wouldn't do for myself because I don't know where to start. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it 100%, and this is why we wanted to. We thought we might get some flack for it, but you know what? They're beautiful experiences when they're done in a controlled environment with a team that knows what they're doing. They really are a beautiful experience. And I've just got to say this I know Jason's got a question there, but while we're on the subject, when people talk about the Ouija board and the spirit board, they've just got such a bad rap, and it's such a shame, because any communication with spirit, any communication that you initiate with spirit, it's no different how you do that, whether you ask or whether you do it through a spirit board or whether you do it through a spirit box. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't really matter. It's your intention that you're putting into what you're doing. That is the biggest thing. And when kids are younger, the first thing they're going to go to is a Ouija board, right? They're not going to go to a pair of divining rods. They're not going to go, hey, we're going to go and do ghost busting and let's get a pair of divining rods. They're not going to do that. They're going to go to the Ouija board because of the history and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, they get a bad rap, but they're amazing.
I find now a lot of the kids, because we've got grandkids or grandson that's into that age, which we had in one of our tubes, so we could do the protection thing and that. He's into the phone apps. So because they're easy to get now, a lot of the kids are downloading the phone apps, which I guess could be the same thing because it's just a thing that they can manifest themselves through to be able to communicate. It's just a device,
100%. It's 100%. So it's the same deal. It's a good old saying, like, you ask and they'll deliver type thing. So
no, had some amazing experiences with some of our apps that we've used, so I totally get it. But yeah. So was there any questions?
Yeah, there was one for me. What was the scariest for me? What was the scariest hunt you ever had? That was at the quarantine station, where I come head to head with over a 6-foot shadow in the back of the wash shed. I was inspecting it. And one of my old team members who was with me, as I've come around the corner, I was basically going straight into it, and I stepped back and looked at my old teammate. He's legged it. He's left me. I'm in pitch blackness. So time I swung up from my camera, he was gone. And that's probably the most scariest moment for me because I wasn't expecting that. And there's also this one just come up. I went on a ghost tour once, and a little girl.
Grave. I can't even read it.
I need my glasses, guys.
Well, here we are. I went on it's someone called Johnny. Hello. I went on a ghost tour once. We went to a little girl's grave, and I was the only one who could smell roses. Then after about 2 minutes, I could smell antiseptic, like hospital grade. When I told the tour guide, she informed me that the girl died of an asthma attack from roses. Funny thing, I suffer from asthma, just wondering what does this mean. I think, Johnny, maybe this girl's spirit felt in tune with you because you also suffer asthma, so that's something she felt comfortable with. So she wanted to show that she was around through you. And a lot of spirits will bring on things like smells or try and communicate in different ways, whether it's a noise, a smell, a sound, an apparition. They can communicate in so many different ways. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that story.
This question just come up. I'm just bringing it up. What do you think it's a Bollywood church graveyard?
Bartholomew. That's that one on the hill at Prospect. Yeah. Was that at St Bartholomew's Church and Graveyard? I don't know where that little girl was. That one's at Prospect. No, look, I've been on tours there, and that look back in the old days in the 80s. There's one in Blacktown, Miha. There's like a creepy old church on the hill. It looks really cool. When I used to be a kid, we'd drive past and we were all terrified of it. We all heard urban legend stories about this church and cemetery on the hill. For a while, there was black magic going on up there. Recently the council, like, it got gutted by fire and they rebuilt it, and then they did ghost tours. Can I honestly say, when I went there, a lot of the feelings were lost. Because the inside of the church doesn't exist anymore. Like, they're stripped of everything, and it's just an empty hallway now. And it's over power lines, so I think, like, power lines go over the cemetery, so you can't use your EM feed or anything like that, because it'll be, you can't tell whether it's spook or. And I think because of the power lines, you could be kind of misled. It could be a haunting too. You know what I mean? So,
as you know, too much EMF can really play with your mind, because
it can make you feel sick.
Absolutely. And it's so important to do a bit of a sweep before you do any location, to rule that out before you actually start investigating, because it's easier just to rule it out beforehand than it is to do it while, because I find that it's easier to rule it out prior to starting than while you're actually investigating.
Yeah, 100%. Balana, what is it called if you can tell all about a stranger just by a photo? That's psychic.
Psycho,
yeah, clairvoyance. So that's my sister, by the way, so it wouldn't surprise me that she's clairvoyant. I've been clairaudient all my life.
Rob said he really wants to attempt a ghost hunt with us one day.
One day when lockdown's finished, we'll have an open ghost hunt night. Looking forward to getting back in the real world again.
It's a nightmare, isn't it?
Oh.
So when you're doing the investigation, what is your most favourite equipment that you like to use?
Oh, look, you've probably heard a lot of people say this, but I do like to, now it's different for me because I've evolved, and now it's me. I'm the biggest, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the biggest tool. I shouldn't say it like that. I'm the biggest tool. But I think apart from that, I would have to say that I do love all the sensory stuff, the REM pods and the proxy sensors and all that, because they're really, really, really good indicators of your environment, really good indicators that something's changing in the environment that you're in. And that's really good to validate whatever we're already picking up on, because we do use equipment in investigations, but we also equally, it's as equally important to have someone on your team that can pick up on spirit, that can communicate with spirit, a psychic or a psychic medium or something like that. I do think it's very important. A lot of people will just go, oh, they're this, they're that, they're not real, they're blah, blah, blah. But I think it's a little bit naive to think that you're investigating the paranormal and you don't believe that mediums kind of exist, but you believe that spirits exist. So personally, I believe, and I never always was like that. I never thought like that all the time. It was only just in the last few years that I've changed my way of thinking in that regard. And it's really, really important to have that validation. And then if we have anything else that we can back that up with, it's even better. It's even better. So, yeah, I think the sensory stuff is my thing. I love them. I love that.
Oh, awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've got to admit, my favourite at the moment is phone apps. I'm discovering new and wonderful ones. There's a
Which
couple
one
that
do
are my
you use?
favourite. I like Spirit Talker.
Mm-hmm.
At first, when I first downloaded it, it was recommended by another paranormal team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if I liked it because it just spits out random words like an ovulus.
Yeah.
But once you used it a couple of times, it became, the words were more in tune to what was going on around you. So I found
Mm-hmm.
it really fascinating.
Yeah.
Like even today, we went on one of our 5 kilometre, we're allowed to go for a walk within the 5 kilometres thing.
Yeah.
There's a little history park down the road at Rouse Hill, and it's all old buildings and whatnot. And I put it
Yeah.
on, mucking around, and it said settlement, and we were in front of an old settlement, which
Yeah.
was like, yeah, and a couple of the names that it gave us, you could like trace back in history and find that those people existed. So it was pretty cool.
That's what it's all about, you know. I never used to be into the apps either, but I've just started using one. And we're not looking for nonsense, like all the stuff like spirit boxes, Ovulus, the apps, they all spit out words and stuff like that. But what you're looking for, you just ignore all that. What you're looking for is a direct response to
Mm,
a question or to a situation that you're in. And
mm,
that's exactly what happened. So
yeah.
they're great. They're great for that.
Yeah, and I find because they use, like, they're part of the phone, they're kind of like energy that they can manipulate anyway.
Yes,
Um,
I believe that they can do that. I believe they can manipulate pretty much anything because everything is energy. I believe absolutely everything has
mm,
its own energy. And yeah, so it just depends what level, with what, depending on what you're connecting with, on the level of that, I guess. Like we had a torch in the criteria, a lantern. Where is it? Do I have it? So we're setting up for the ghost tour just on the last haunted sleepover, and this blew my mind. And I don't get a lot of things that blow my mind, and this blew my mind. And we had a lantern, and we didn't use it because I'm doing this with my hands all the time. So we didn't use it because it had no batteries in it, right? And I got up in the morning, and the group of ladies that were sleeping next to us, she turned around and she goes, "Oh, I was communicating with this lantern." And I went,
right.
"Oh, that?" And she goes, "No, no, no, this lantern." And she goes, I said, "Oh," and I looked and I'm like, "Oh, it's got no batteries." Like, and she goes, I said, "Oh, it's got no batteries." No, she goes, "I've got it on video." And I'm like,
Wow.
get out of town. So she's recorded it, and we've gone through it. And yeah, the lantern was turning on and it was flickering to her questions
Questions.
and
Wow. We
that.
do have a question here we'll bring up later.
Yep.
Sorry?
No, it's right. We've got a question and we're going to bring
Oh, go,
up.
go.
No, no,
Go,
no,
go.
that's all right.
I just noticed it.
Sorry, that's the delay thing.
Oh, that's all right.
Hang on, I'll wait until it comes up here because I'm
There you go.
trying to look
Has
at a
anybody
little
experienced in
at the Garrawara Centre, Old Abandoned Psychiatric Hospital. So this would
No.
probably be a question for you, Mia.
No.
Have you had? Because I have never heard of that centre. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't. But I'm going to just jot it down now. No, I can't say that I have. But being that kind of hospital asylums, all that sort of stuff, I guess from what I've seen over the years, that they all sort of have that same feel and the same thing happening there. And, that really heavy, sad, strong,
Mm.
aggressive, and I probably could spit out a few more words, but I do believe that each location is different depending on what the location was. You've really got to take that into account
Mhm.
because everything, like especially with old buildings like that are still standing till today, like just imagine the energy imprints that are still left there.
For sure.
Huge. I know I did go down to Beechworth Asylum. I've done a lot of travelling, and I did go and spend 6 hours at Beechworth Asylum.
Wow.
And yeah, and we were asked if we wanted to, towards the end of the evening, we were asked if we wanted to go for a walk on our own through a certain pattern of I was like, hell no. Hell no, am I going? I tapped out straight away. I was like, no way. I see and hear shit. I'm not going. No way. But it definitely is you just feel that sadness and, I guess it just comes with that kind of place.
Yeah.
I would guess it'd be the same at the hospital the guy's talking about.
Yeah. I'm not even sure where it is. I haven't heard of it, but I will look it up.
Yeah.
Did you say it was in Perth?
No.
Was it in Perth?
I'll look for the question again. Hang on.
Oh, I don't think, because I've never been to Perth.
No, neither of me. That's one place. I've been all around Australia except for Western Australia now. And I've only been briefly in Northern Territory.
That's the question.
Yeah, it didn't say where it was.
Doesn't say where it is.
But thanks for letting us know, Brendan. We'll definitely look it up now.
Yeah. Cheers, Brendan. Cheers.
Yeah. I was about to say, Miha, hearing your story of how you started in the paranormal, I can relate so much because I was exactly like that. I didn't know I was psychic. All I know is that I had terrifying visitors in the night and couldn't work out why I had these experiences. And I was just, my parents didn't believe me, my grandparents. My grandpa was Catholic. My grandpa was a non-believer. Gone through the war, seen a whole lot of horrible stuff. So he didn't believe in anything like ghosts. So they thought I was a Looney Tune.
So you're on your own.
But I did exactly the same as you did. I moved out quite young with a boyfriend because I just had enough of the experience. I felt tormented by this one thing in the house. And then I had other psychic experiences, and then I got to an age where I went, enough is enough. I'm not going to be scared anymore. I'm going to find out why this is happening to me. And that's exactly why I started out in the field, and now I use it to help others that have similar experiences. So, and I find that fascinating. So,
yeah, that's really amazing, Julia, because I find that really sad though, because I never had that support after what happened with me, and I just find that really, really sad because back in the day, families like you, they were so religious, and this was sort of like taboo, and it was like no, it's the devil or this or that, and you don't have that support. So to be able to go out there now and like mentor people to a point, I think is really amazing.
He's actually put down where it's from.
Yeah.
And also got a question up here too.
How did I know that?
It's near Waterfall,
New South Wales. Okay. No, I haven't heard of it, but I'll definitely look it up. I wonder if it's the old one where they had a hidden cemetery.
Yeah.
I've heard there's a hidden cemetery. There's an old psychiatric hospital and in New South Wales there, and there's an actual forgotten TB cemetery, like thousands of people, but it's been grown over by bush and fences around, and no one's allowed to go in there anymore. And which I find really sad because, you know, it's not an old cemetery at all.
Yeah. But I say this on my when we do our talks about Maryborough, when we do our events up there, that prior to cemeteries being established, there were none. So people that passed away or died, they were either buried on the property they owned, the land they owned, or they were just buried out in the bush. So, you know.
Okay. Got another question from Brendan. What location would you personally consider as highly active or generally haunted within the western suburbs of Sydney? It's publicly accessible. Look, most of the cemeteries around are pretty active, I found, and most places that like are haunted, you can go to a place, and I'm sure Mia will agree, you'll have a day where things are happening left, right and centre and you're quite frazzled, and the next time you go it could be quite flat, there's not much activity. You can't really, you know, ghosts will pick their day. I find we can control it. If it, you know, if it tends to be really windy, it tends to be not that great with activity. I don't know why the elements control it, but I find night time's always good because you can catch activity with your camera and stuff like that.
And you don't have the chaos of the day either. So, you know, and that's really, really important. That's why investigating at night, people go, oh, why do you not? Is it active through the day? Of course it is. But the reason people investigate is because at night time, the world stops, so to speak, you know. It gets darker and quieter, and that's probably the key thing that people will investigate.
100%. So in regards to that question, any of the cemeteries around haunted? I find there's an old convict bridge in Lower Blue Mountains. It's convict made bridge that we've gotten a lot of activity. Actually, it spooked the hell out of me because I'm terrified of kangaroos, right? I don't trust Skippy. He's got a bad attitude.
He's like.
Anyway, it was pitch black. I couldn't see nothing. It's like pitch black. And all I could hear was these noises coming closer and closer. And I freaked thinking it might have been a kangaroo. And hopped in the car. But later on when we played it back through the EVP, it was actually footsteps.
Oh, wow.
A couple of good EVPs there. So there's also Emu Plains has got an old church and cemetery near the railway line. Look out for that one. That's quite active as well. Happy spook hunting.
Lennox Bridge is great too. Jeff saying.
Yeah, that's the one I think it is.
We get where there's a crazy next question. A little Prince. Jeff says this is a good place. Yes, a little Prince Henry
Hospital Museum building.
Another hospital.
Yeah.
Any wonder people always feel things and have experiences in those places.
For sure.
Zigzag tunnel.
So with your experiences in that, Mia, when you've done your tours and that, has there anything happened that's like spooked you or spooked some of the people on the tour?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was going to ask you, Jason. You're telling me about your experience earlier about that black mass. And my experience, one of the worst experiences I've ever had, well, not worst, most significant experience I ever had was at Monte Cristo's homestead. Yeah, I know, very known for Australia's most haunted house and this and that and blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. And I didn't expect a great deal, to be brutally honest, but I was in the stable area and we were just finishing up an investigation in there, And we're lucky enough that Lawrence had let us do some investigating there. So he took off with the tour group and he let us go off and do our thing. And we're finishing up because we had about 45 minutes to an hour just going into the stable area. And I was grabbing the last bits of equipment and I was near the door that goes out of the stable and I had this black mass just come over my head and it just sort of come down like this and I saw it coming around me. So I ducked and I screamed really loud and I went running out. And I just had this whole feeling of just pure fear. My back started burning from where this black mass had tried to envelop me. So my back started burning a lot, and it's middle of winter. And then all of a sudden I had a pressure on my neck, and I'm like, I'm a bit panicky because I've never experienced anything like that before, like a direct attack. That I would call that a bit of like a direct attack. And then I felt a pressure on my neck, and I'm like, oh gosh. So I undid my puffer jacket. And I thought, oh, we'll see. And it just kept getting tighter and tighter on my neck. So I pretty much done a few things that I would do just to try and ground myself out and, get myself back to norm. But I would have to say that was really, really scary for me. I've never seen anything like it before, where a black mass it's just like it was just about to just cover me.
That would have been terrifying. I've got to admit, I would have been pretty terrified.
It was. I'm normally pretty brave, but I made the decision not to go back in there. I was like, you know what? I want to be brave, but something in me was saying, don't go back in there. So I just trusted my gut and my instinct and my intuition, and I didn't go. That was prior to me being evolved spiritually to the level I am now.
Yeah.
So
a question for you. Well, you've been on an investigation. Like I've done a lot, as you probably know. You've been in an area and you hear all these things going around, so you find your heartbeat, and so you spin around your camera, start flickering, only to find out it's not a spirit. It's actually a bat or bird. But at the time, you're not thinking because you hear something going up and down. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I think so. Not a bat or anything, but definitely. We're not ones to just straight up go, oh my God, it's spirit or it's a ghost or this and that. We really do go and try and figure it out. We really do go and try and figure it out. So, and at times, yeah, absolutely. Environment plays a big factor into that. As well. A lot of the time we find that it is our environment that's actually creating what we think is a spirit or a shadow or this or that. Yeah.
That happened to me down at when I was investigating the drain pipe picked down at Campbelltown. We had all these things flapping around and people getting hit by things. And we're thinking, what's going on? Everybody's running every direction, but me, I grabbed my camera, spun around, started taking lots and lots of photos to see what's going on. Only to capture a little tiny bat going backwards and forwards, dive bombing everybody in this tunnel.
Cheeky little buggers, eh? I feel sorry for the bat. He's all going in, disturbing his peace. He was just trying to get out of there.
Always feel sorry for the animals, hey?
Yeah, but actually what he was doing, he was going out of the tunnel, doing a U-turn and coming back in like a bird and flapping everybody in the tunnels to go out the other side, and you keep going in and out, and I was in there going, what's going on,
But, everyone's already like on edge a bit because it's all spooky and this and that. All it takes is one thing and boom.
Yeah. Boom. For sure.
Because I walked out laughing, and that wasn't a good thing, because when I walked out laughing, everybody's outside shaking like this. There's only a bat, and everybody's going boom, boom, boom. I go, what? It's a bat.
Yeah, the adrenaline would have been going, and that was it. The adrenaline would have been pumping.
Okay. Queensland's Most Haunted is a Facebook page, and you've got a website page coming up. I just thought
We
you
do.
might talk to people about events that are coming up that they might be able to buy tickets and how to buy tickets if they wanted to go to any.
All right, guys. So, yes, we do have a website that's 90% done. It's probably been 90% done. I was chatting to you guys earlier. We're real laxed over here. It's probably been about 90% done for 8 months, but we're definitely on it now and we're pushing forward with that. We should have the website up in, I'm hoping, about 4 weeks. That's Queensland's Most Haunted. All our events and everything will be up on that website. Plus, we do have our Facebook page, Queensland's Most Haunted, which is the black logo with the flames. We only have one event available left for the year. I don't know what it is. We just sell out. Like, we put events up and they're gone in a couple of hours. So,
yeah.
So we do have one last event that we're putting up on the page tomorrow, and that'll be the Halloween haunted sleepover at the Criterion Hotel. And also on our page, we also do a lot of chasing Queensland's haunted history. It's really important. The history of these locations needs to be looked at, and it needs time, airtime type thing. It's so important. I don't see it a lot with I don't see it a lot where people focus on the history of a location when they're going in. When I see people delivering investigations, I had to burp. Sorry. I don't see that there's not a lot of history that goes into their videos and this and that. And I just think it's really, really important. And the one thing with history, which is I've drank so much beer at haunted pubs that it's unbelievable. It's like our thing. But the thing with history, guys, is don't get too caught up. It's really important that I want to say this, because don't get too caught up in the fact that, it wasn't documented or this or that. Only this much of history was documented. This much, and my arms are spread right out, this much actually happened. So there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said when it comes to our generational ancestors and their stories and, all that sort of stuff. So not everything in history was documented doesn't mean it didn't happen. That's really, really important, I think.
That's for sure. No, I agree with you 100%.
There's a question for you now.
Question for you, Miha.
I'll just bring it up for you. It's from Gage.
Hey, question for Miha. What inspired you to be a ghost hunter?
Yeah.
A ghost hunter. I had an experience that I spoke about earlier when I was 14 years old, and I was so scared for so long, guys. And then I just researched what happened through that experience. And on the flip side, I fell in love with the paranormal, and it became my passion. And we do a lot of helping people as well. And it just evolved from there, and I started my first group in 2008. And then Queensland's Most Haunted was founded. Queensland's Most Haunted was founded a few years ago, and here we are today.
Oh, awesome. Balana also mentioned Cairns Cemetery is haunted, and I believe you went to North Queensland earlier in the year. Did you get to go to any haunted places?
We did. We definitely did. We went to far north Queensland, chasing Queensland's haunted history, and we went to a lot of places up there. And when we created Queensland's Most Haunted, that was our goal, was to give regional Queensland a chance to attend a spooky night out, because they don't have that type of stuff in their towns, and it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of effort, but I think it's really important. But we went up to the James Cook Museum, and that's in Cooktown. And then we came back down and we did Ravenshoe, Yungaburra, a whole heap of stuff. We did a lot.
That would have been awesome.
It really was.
Have you ever explored St Helena's Island off Brisbane?
No, I haven't. It's definitely on my list. Who you would think that I would, being from Brisbane, I've been everywhere else throughout Australia and up north, and you would think that I've been there. We did have plans to go there, but that fell through, and we just never revisited it again. But yeah, it's definitely on the list.
Oh, we've only just discovered it because I was reading about haunted places to go when we got up to Queensland to see you,
We should do it
and
together.
it came up, and I went, "Oh my God, I'm gonna have to." So,
Mm.
well, it's on the list. One day, hopefully next year we'll get to travel.
Yeah.
I've kind of written the year off now. I had hope at first, now I'm like, meh. If I get to go and visit my sister for Christmas, that'll be great. But yeah.
I know. I do understand. We've been really lucky up here. We feel for you guys down there. We really do. But we've been really lucky up here, and I do feel blessed for that. But
Look,
we'll get through it,
find the
guys.
hope. Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. It's the delay. I keep forgetting about the delay. I find the heat. It doesn't tolerate the heat. Queensland's a warmer state, so even though you guys get cases up there, it doesn't last long. It doesn't spread. But when we get hit, we always get hit in winter, and that's what's happened here. And Melbourne is also cold down there, so we tend to get hit the most. But
I know.
yeah, I've noticed it's during the winter season, so I'm just hoping it doesn't happen again next winter.
No. Fingers crossed. I think we'll be all right. I think we're getting to a point now where we've got no choice but to get to a point to eradicate lockdowns and border closures. So I do feel next year is going to be a better year.
There was a question for you, Miha. I'll just bring it up for you.
Yep.
Excuse
me, guys.
You're right.
There you go. It's up there for you.
I'll wait until it comes up. Did you make it to Geelong, Miha?
No, I didn't make it to Geelong, unfortunately. But I am coming down. I was going to come down to Melbourne in October for Halloween, but that's not going to happen. It's just too volatile. You just never know when something's going to happen. So we just pull the pin on any interstate travel.
Yeah.
And we decided to stay in Queensland. But I'm coming your way, girlfriend. I'm coming your way. And definitely got to do Geelong Jail.
Oh. Well, one day we'll get to go down there too, and we'll hopefully see it as well. Victoria's an amazing place. Also, I miss it a lot. But yeah, there's so many places I want to explore, but we just got to be allowed to go.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, next year will be different. I really do believe it.
Yeah.
I really do believe that.
The Paranormal Talks, that kind of keeps us going. We're lucky in our town itself. We've got a haunted railway, we've got a cemetery, and we've got a couple of abandoned houses. So we're not doing too badly.
Is that in your 5K radius, is it?
We can walk to all of them.
Oh, so that's good.
We could be worse off. So we're trying not to overdo them so people get sick of the same old place. We're spacing it out.
Oh, but you're in a 5K radius. Like, at least you've got something in that circle.
We have done a 3:00 in the morning challenge at the railway.
Yeah.
Which was really active, actually. We didn't go to the actual railway station. We went to a crossing. It's kind of got two crossings, if you know what I mean, when you leave in and out of town. And the second crossing at night is always creepy as hell. Don't know why. And we've got a lot of evidence there. The railway itself actually has a grave. An actual grave. From what we can get through the app, the person worked there. But we've got nothing written about this person. We don't know. It's just this mysterious grave, full grave.
Have you thought about asking, like, the Historical Society or anyone there about that? Because that's interesting.
It's only about 1984 or 2000. We didn't want to pry in case it's a family member. People get emotional, you know. Like
So
I
it's
looked
not.
in the local papers and saw if I could see anything. Looked through the archives to see if there was any announcement, or we
Yeah.
don't know what happened. But so we were hoping he could talk through the app, and all he said was work. But when Jason went there, like we've taken turns, he didn't like Jason at all. And he just made the camera, drain the batteries, everything. He just wouldn't communicate. When I went, after a while, he said work. That was it.
Oh, so
So
that
I'm
must be work
assuming,
related.
yeah, someone worked for the railway, and yeah, they're honouring him by letting him. Maybe something happened down there. I don't know, but I can't see anything written.
Yeah.
But at the other crossing, there's a couple of people that have been hit by a train, and they're actually buried in the local churchyard just
Oh,
outside our 5 kilometre.
yeah.
The cemetery is pretty active. That's in Western Sydney as well.
Yeah.
And that has nights where it feels calm and other nights where it feels really menacing.
Yeah. Do you find that with cemeteries? Because I've done a lot of documenting with cemeteries years and years ago. I used to go there through the day and then I'd go at night just to see what the difference was. And I've done that for a long time. And do you find that you get a lot of transient type spirit coming through?
Oh, look at just different at the night. Like Rookwood's my all-time favourite, and I've
Mm,
been there during the day and during the night. We've
yeah.
had spirits show up in photographs during the day.
Mm,
We've had a day where we've just been told to get lost all day long.
yeah. Piss
Um,
off.
I always think, you know, you don't even know what I'm here for, and you're ready to tell me to get lost.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
anyway, and then I've had times where at night it's felt more calm than during the day.
Yeah, you can't. You like it goes back to what you said, Julie, earlier. You just can't gauge it. It is what it is when you get there at that particular moment.
Yeah, one thing I can say, if anyone wants to try ghost hunting, we always protect ourselves. That's one thing we do. Whatever ritual that you use, you know, I say a prayer of protection, ask that they can't follow us, attach, blah, blah,
Mm,
blah. And also afterwards, I thank the angels for, you know, protection, and let them know that they have to rest in peace and stay where they are.
yeah.
Um, but, yeah,
It's important. It's important. It's really
yeah,
important to do that because the one thing that I ask a lot of people, just out of pure curiosity, is what do you, I'm talking about other teams and all that sort of stuff. What do you guys do to protect yourselves? Do you do anything? Do you have something that you do before you go into a location?
Yeah.
No. And I'm like, well, why don't you do that? Why would you not do that? And they're like, oh, we don't want to stop communication with spirit. We don't want to hinder them and for them not to communicate. And so the thing I want to, if I can elaborate with that, is because it's so important for people to protect themselves to a point. If you're going to do this, you need to not be naive to think that you don't need protection, because you're going to come across a situation you're going to regret that you never did it or never knew. So when you ask for protection and you're asking for only communication of the highest good, and you're asking for them not to be able to affect you and so forth, they can still communicate with you. They just can't affect you. That's what you're
that's
asking
right.
for.
Yeah,
So, you know, you're not telling them that they can't be around you or communicate with you. They just can't affect you.
that's true.
You're protected. So big difference between that will stop communication, because it won't. It won't. If they want to talk to you, they're going to talk to you. They're just not going to be able to enter your field.
For sure.
I've got a
Yeah.
question from John.
A question from John.
Let's bring it up. Or
Yeah.
Johnny. Yeah, Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
bring
you
it
have
up
to be
now.
religious?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Do you have to be religious? No, not at all. There's lots of people that are ghost hunters from all walks of fields, all different beliefs. You know, we've got people that are spiritual, people that are Satanists that do ghost hunting. You know, whatever is true to you, whatever you have, like you might have a lucky emblem that you wear or something that you do, but always ask for protection. I usually ask for the white light and ask for the archangels, but whatever suits you, whatever belief you come from, whether, you know, we've got all different religions, so they always tend to have somebody that they see as a guide or a guardian angel. Use whatever suits you, whatever beliefs you have, it's the same intent. So
That's right. It's all about the intention. And if you don't have any belief system, so to speak, and you want to start incorporating it, all you've got to do is ask. The helping spirits, our angels, our guides, they're all there waiting. They're all there waiting to help you. And all you've got to do is ask. And if you don't have any particular belief system, just ask for the universal protectors to be around you and stand with you. You only want communication of the highest good, and anything else be taken care of, and they'll take care of it.
for sure.
I think somebody disagree with you. They agree with you.
Oh, they
Dark water.
okay. Just waiting for you to come up with the delay. Sorry.
All right.
There it is.
Okay, I could not agree more with you, Miha. Nowadays, people are hunting for the fame, no research, no belief, and thus not ignorant to what can actually happen and does inevitably happen. Yeah,
Correct.
I got it.
Correct.
I agree with Miha also.
So again, that comes back down to what I was talking about earlier is I understand that we all have different levels of where we are in the field. Like you have people that are just starting out, they're probably more vulnerable. Then you have people that are in the field just for pure research. They're documenting data, pure research, and all this spiritualist stuff is just fluff as far as they're concerned.
Yeah.
Which I just find mind-blowing because you're investigating spirit and you're investigating that phenomena. So how can you just turn a blind eye to another phenomena that is interlinked with that phenomena? I don't know. I just find that mind-blowing. But you know, but like I was saying, you've got guys in it for the research purposes, then you've got guys in it for the investigative purposes, then you've got just your thrill seekers that are out doing what they're doing and all that sort of stuff. And then you've got people that are just in it for the fame. It's really, really, really important to just be respectful if you know that everyone is on a different level of their journey into the paranormal and into what they're doing. So whether you're a researcher and you don't believe in the fluff of mediumship or whatever, that's fine. No, you know, but I just think people need to be a lot more open-minded with certain things, you know. Yeah. I do. I just think they just need to be a bit more open-minded. And then you find a lot of times that these attachments will happen. And this is normally from people that have, I'm talking about in the field. I'm not talking about spirit attachment outside of the field in everyday life and all that sort of stuff. And then you'll find that they will suffer with that for a very long time. They haven't even got a clue what's going on. They wouldn't even have a clue that that is actually that.
Yeah.
Because they're so close. They're so closed off to it. But we're all on our own journey, guys. So just be mindful, be respectful, be kind to each other, and just know, you know, whether you're just starting out in the field or you've been in the field for 20-something years, be humble, be kind, you know.
Yeah.
Help each other out.
100%. And I always say that every team is unique. Everybody's got their own style. Everybody's got something valuable to share, you know.
You're always learning.
And we always learn off each other. And I like to think of us all as one big paranormal family, you know. I don't diss anyone. We're all here to discover and experience similar things and in new places. So yeah, and all of us are always available for a chat. All the channels and Mia, I'll put your Facebook page up on the Jason Ghost Hunter page after the show, and also the link under the channel. Feel free to message through that page if you need to ask her any questions. You can do that with us. You can do that with any of the other teams that I have spoken to in the last few weeks. We're all approachable.
Yeah.
We're all here to help, give advice, or steer you in the right direction if you want to start off yourself. So.
Yep.
There's a
Absolutely.
question for, I think, up here. Your sister's asked a question. Let's bring it up now.
I'm just answering one
And
question.
I've got to come up. There it is.
Okay.
Where do you feel is the best place to acquire equipment, and what equipment are basic necessities? Okay, so with me, I think any place you go to start, camera is always the best place. I mean, don't have to have a great camera, one with a good flash, because you'll click away at total darkness and you'll be surprised at what comes up in the photos afterwards. You know, so a camera's a great thing. All the other little things that you get, like the light up cat balls, you can get on eBay for about $16. They're more for entertainment purposes, and they're great to put around. And you know, if they light up by themselves, you actually got to touch them to light up. You can put a phone up next to them or anything, and they won't light up. So they're more for entertainment, but they're fascinating at the same time when you've got them around, or REM pods to show you that somebody's around setting them off. Good EVP recorder you can also get on places like desktop, you know, because it's got a high frequency of hearing. We might not hear what's being said, but it's like a recorder, and later on, you know, you can put it on the SD card on the computer, and you'll have voices come through the white noise. What else can I tell you?
Surprisingly, like when you talk about cameras, I still got the original camera, what I take photos with, for over 20 years. I will show you how old it is, and you don't need to buy these $500, $600 cameras. It's just sitting up top here. I'll go and grab it. So if anybody is looking for getting a camera for ghost hunting, you don't need to buy these fancy equipment stuff. I'll show you.
You've actually got your phone. Your phone does everything. You've got your camera on a phone. You've got your recorder on a phone, and you can download a few apps as well. But the digital recorder for me would have to be, I just love the digital recorder. Digital recorder, notepad and pen are your first thing. Straight up.
Well, that is my old camera that I use.
It's vintage.
It's a very old camera. It's a Olympics, and it's so old that it does everything I need it to do. And
that's right.
The only difference is it's got a good flash on this, and that's all I use it for. And it's digital, puts it on the digital thing for me, and it does everything I need. So that's why I try and tell people, you don't need to buy expensive equipment. You just need the stuff that really does it for you.
You'll be surprised what you pick up with the camera. The EMF reader is always available to buy cheap. The only thing with EMF readers, if there's wiring behind a wall in the house, it'll go off. If it's too close to your phone, it'll go off. If there's a lot of power lines over the street, it will go off.
Pays to do a sweep of the area that you're investigating, just to rule any of that out before you start, because they can be really, really useful. It is said that spirit is made up. That's what spirit's made up of, EMF. So, and you've got an EMF detector there. So you do have your equipment can be useful you've got to know your equipment too. It's really important to know your equipment. I'm no techie girl or anything, but I make a point to know the basics of my equipment. And they can be really, really helpful.
Yeah.
As long as for people out there, just get to know your stuff a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like that camera I just showed. It might be old, but I know how to use it and the way that how to hold it and get the photos to where I get my photos and a lot of photos I have. And people go, but how does that camera do that? And I said, well, I know it because I've been using it since day one of my Ghost Hunter World. So that's a pretty old camera, over 20-year-old camera sitting there and it's still working.
Yeah, that's awesome though. You know, you keep that forever. That's like a paranormal heirloom.
It is. And like yourself said, Miha, like when you ghost hunting, the best tool to have is yourself.
It
Just
really is.
Your surroundings, maybe have a quiet moment and just to stand there and absorb. You'll hear something, you'll feel something.
Yeah.
Just the atmosphere itself, like you said, with hospitals, it's got a sick feeling. I felt that in prisons too. Prisons, I've had that same desperate, sad feeling. Old Melbourne Jail made me feel that. I actually walked out feeling quite emotional. I felt sorry. Like, I know people in there do horrible things, but not everybody's evil, and accidents happen. And it, like back in the old days, it would have been even more desperate. A lot of people, you know, died for, especially the convicts, they died for what? Stealing a loaf of bread, coming to Australia and being cut off from family, and they were probably only young.
Old Parramatta Jail. We've been there, but we haven't done a tour.
No, we were in the Parramatta, the Sydney Expo, run by Pete. It's a fantastic expo. Recommend it.
Yep.
You go and get tickets when it opens up again. It's
definitely
awesome.
It's amazing.
And that thing happened at the end, the water.
Yeah, right at the end. We were in the old barber shop and doing readings that day, and right at the end, this water bowser burst and water went everywhere.
Yeah, I was there, I remember.
Yeah, and do you know what? I was in the room and I could hear footsteps before it happened. I heard clomp, clomp, and it was like he kicked it. A ghost kicked it and it went off. It was like, time up, you get out now. They didn't want us there, I'm telling you.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah. I just heard him kicking it. But yeah, no, that's definitely, if you can get tickets when it starts up again because of lockdown, to get tickets to see Parramatta Jail, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. So any more questions?
Who's that little guy?
That's Cleopatra. That's Jason's girlfriend.
Oh, Papa.
And that's her boyfriend up there.
He follows me everywhere. That's Jack.
Don't forget, guys, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to go to the Most Haunted, their Facebook page. Follow them. You know, got any questions for these girls up there? They're great. She knows what she's doing. Just tell people again about your tours and stuff up there. So anybody who's just joined, they know about your tours.
All right, sweet. So Queensland's Most Haunted up in Queensland, Australia. We're Brisbane based. Jump on. We do run a lot of tours. We're about to end of the month. We're putting out our 2022 tours. So we do run seance events. We run old world magic, ghost tours, ghostly tales tours, art of divination, and we also do live shows where Nikki, she's the founder as well, alongside me, of Queensland's Most Haunted. She's amazing psychic medium. We do live shows for people as well. So yeah, we do a whole heap of stuff. Website's coming out soon, guys, and yeah, jump on if there's anything that we can help you guys or anyone with. Just hit us up.
Well, would you have a question? Just come in. I'll just bring that up.
From
can I answer this?
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely, humor helps with investigating. 100%. It's not all serious stuff. Have some fun, guys. You know, you'll find that a lot of time what we do is we'll sit around together and we'll just start having a conversation and a joke around and all that sort of stuff. And then we find the spirit is like, hey, you're meant to be paying attention to me. And then they'll do something, or you'll notice them, or something will happen, some interaction will happen. So absolutely, it's not, don't take it too seriously. Have some fun with it, guys.
It's like a time when I was on an investigation. I noticed all my team at the time we were at a location. They all started getting nervous, and me being me, I realised I spotted what was going on. So I destroyed the investigation by doing something stupid and made everybody laugh to kill the tension. So I brought people back from having their heart beating like this to go back and enjoy it. And because I spotted, because I'm an observer, I watch everybody who's out with us, and I noticed it. So I just cracked out something and made everybody laugh. So it is, humour is most important, you know. If you find yourself getting a bit scared, just maybe pull back and let people know so we can really help you along on your journey to make sure nothing affects you.
100%.
And you need that humour too, because ghost hunting can be really boring.
Okay, we've got a question.
Hours and hours of waiting for something to happen.
It can.
We've got a question for Miha.
No, we haven't done anything in Hervey Bay. We do Maryborough, which is only half an hour away. Unfortunately, I haven't found anything in Hervey Bay to look at the moment. If you have any ideas, send me a message and we'll go from there.
In Hervey Bay, that's the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long night. Yeah, well, investigating can be like, some days we might go, oh, we're going to go for 2 hours for an investigation. It happened to you, me, where you go, 2 hours is our limit, and you end up being there 5 hours. You go, where'd the time go?
Yeah. I know, right? Just like that.
Like I said, you can get onto a site, it can be really active, and things will happen straight away, or you can be sitting there waiting for one noise, one apparition, one orb. It's just depends on the night.
I'm not laughing at you, Julie. I'm laughing at Michelle's question.
That's all right.
Do you, Mia, use code words with you and your teammates? We do sometimes have code words. We do sometimes have code words in certain situations, but I'm not going to get into it. We'll just leave that one at that. No, I think it is important sometimes to have code words where, you know, so you're both on the same page and then your teammate can engage in what's going on. Yeah. You know, sometimes we'll have situations where someone's just been a complete dick, you know, someone's just been a complete dick, and, you know, we don't get that often, which is really, really good. But you do come across that, and then we will have that type of thing, and then someone can come in and support that situation.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we might use, if we find that it's getting tense, I might go, okay, guys, smoko time, and I'll just kill it instantly, and nobody knows what's going on. But Julie, sometimes I know what's going on, because you normally spot something, or someone's getting uneasy, so you normally try and kill it and get them out real quick.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a yes, Michelle.
What are your thoughts of? Hang on a sec. Somebody else has got a question. Dark waters. Here it comes. What are your thoughts of spirit at Bucks? We had several seasons out, but always back at the Ouija board compared to on its own before some of my seasons. Well,
so the next, go on.
You go now. You started.
Yes. Yeah. So with the apps, I think we've tried out the Necrophonic app, and I find that that's not too bad. I'm not big on apps, so I can't really answer the question 100%. I haven't had enough time on them, but I did, from what we've trialed out, we do use the Necrophonic app. But yeah, but you know, the old divination ways are always a go-to, like you said. And I always go back to those as well.
We use the necrophonic, we use the spirit talker, ghost tube, and the paralysis. They're our 4 favourites. We have downloaded a few other apps, and I'm not saying they don't work, but we haven't tuned. Like, you know how some apps you feel in tune with, some you don't? Well, we didn't feel in tune with them, so we just deleted them. But they're the 4 ones that we use, as well as our normal ones. So
yeah.
Have fun with them. Download ones that you might want to try.
Right.
And see which one that you tune into the most, because it's like anything. Like with the board, you feel comfortable with that. I feel comfortable with some of the apps, and I read tarot cards. I know a lot of people that wouldn't touch them with a barge pole, but I feel in tune with them and I feel safe with them. I've read them for years and I've never had a problem with them. So I guess it's the same sort of thing, you know. Find what suits you and have fun doing it. So
yeah, exactly.
This is a good question for you, Miha. Before anybody even goes into the ghost hunting world, what advice would you give them while they're thinking about it? What advice would you give them before going out and doing what we do?
I think what I would do, the advice I would give is do some research. Just research as much as you can, because there's no school for this, and you've got a lot of great books out there, and you've got a lot of great stuff that's free on the internet as well. Educate yourself as much as you can, because knowledge is power to a point in that regard, especially when there's nothing out there that you can go to like school and do it. I know there are a couple of people that are doing that type of thing, but it's pretty rare. Educate yourself, research, find teams in your area, and go along on a tour. Go along on a tour, and see how they work and see what they're doing and that type of thing. A lot of teams these days can be very tight knit, and it's very hard to get into a team or to have a team take you on. So it's all about educating yourself and go along on tours, and and then slowly ease yourself into it. All you need is a recorder, pen, paper to begin with, and practice. And don't give up. If it's your passion, it's one thing to, and another thing to just be a bit of warning is, it's one thing to know, be knowledgeable theoretically, like, you know what I mean? But you have to put that into practice as well.
Yep.
So that's where you're going to get most of your experience. So go on a ghost tour, contact another team in your area, and see if you can jump on a ghost tour or jump on the team for a couple of investigations with them.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Dark Water has asked a question for us. Just
for
wait
us.
For it to come up.
Okay.
For all of us, I think.
Okay.
Just wait for it to come up. There we
go. Perfect, thanks. And the use of radio for EVP. I haven't used it, but I'm fascinated in hearing about it. I'm open to, yeah.
And your sister wants to know about, if it's true about, can you buy your own tarot cards?
I find with tarot cards, they're like crystals, they choose you. I use the Mythic Tarot. And I feel comfortable with them. I've had a few decks over the years that I've been reading, and it's been over 20, but they've been my solid favourite. They kind of feel like mine. It's just an extension of my energy, I think. And the other decks I haven't felt that emotional attachment to. So, yeah, maybe I would recommend looking at different decks in a spiritual shop when it's open again, when the shops are open again, and have a feel for each pack and see which one that draws you the most. Yeah. Same with crystals. Let them choose you. So.
What's that moving behind you?
Hey?
Is that what your animals got in?
I think one of my dogs is scratching at the door. He's all right. They'll survive. They'll survive an hour and a half or whatever without me. They'll be fine.
Oh, that's okay. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about, Mia, and share?
Oh, there's so much, but that's how I think. I'll come on again. I'd love to come on again.
Keep going.
Bring it on.
Come on.
Wow, there's so many things to talk about.
Let's bring it on.
This is about you.
This is about you, yeah.
Yeah, no, so much stuff to talk about. I think I'll leave it for now because we're hitting on an hour and a half now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll leave it.
And definitely would love to have you back.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you so much for sparing some of your time. I know I probably sounded like the annoying person chasing you over the weeks, but it was just a greatest pleasure to have you on and shared some time with us. I will put the link to your Facebook page on Jason Ghost Hunter. Yep. Also, the link below this YouTube channel once we say goodnight.
But when we say goodnight, you stay there and we'll chat afterwards too.
You go.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I absolutely adore you guys. And I cannot wait to come back.
Well, we can't wait to have you back and also come and see you in Queensland. Do some of your tours. They sound absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I used to live in Queensland and I've been to Queensland many times, but do you know what? I've never been to any of the haunted places.
Wow, there you go.
I am really pumped, looking forward to seeing new things.
Well, I'll be your host.
I would love it. I just wanted to say to the people watching the channel, thank you so much for being on. Do you have any more questions before we go?
Yeah, this is your chance to ask a question before we go, so this is a good chance.
Do you have any more questions for Mia?
I'll be back anyway, guys, so.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well,
thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget, guys, like and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to go to Mia's Facebook page, like it, follow. She runs some great tours up there, guys. So don't forget that. If you're ever in Queensland, hit Mia up and she'll look after you. And she's got a hell of a lot of good places up there that we're going to be exploring too when we do get up there.
And also, if you have any questions for her, please contact her via her Facebook page, Messenger. And I will put the links up, like I said, so you can contact her yourself if you have any more questions. For the people that are new to the channel, welcome and thank you so much for watching us tonight.
Thank you.
We hope the show was entertaining. So.
Yep. Okay. Catch us all soon, guys.
See you next week.